I have been really fortunate to have a whole bunch of great people as both bosses and mentors.
This is the Insurance Technology Podcast, where we bring interesting people from across the insurance ecosystem to discuss and debate technology's impact on the industry. Join us each episode for insights and best practices from industry stewards and tomorrow's innovators.
All right. Well, welcome, listeners. And we are here for another of our hot seat episodes. I am here with the CEO of Trusted Choice, Chip Bacciocco. Welcome.
Hello.
All right. So before we get into some of the more heavy hitting questions with Reed, I have a couple questions to ask you just so our listeners can get to know you a little bit better. So first, I'm going to start with some work related questions. A boss or mentor who has made a big impact on your career?
I have been really fortunate to have a whole bunch of great people as both bosses and mentors. Pat Ryan hired me into the insurance industry. It doesn't get any better than that. I've had the privilege to work with Pat Gallagher, the CEO of Gallagher. Wally Bryce is a legend also at Gallagher. Paul Slamar, Mike Rice Sr. I've been really privileged to have some amazing leaders in my life.
All right. And whether it was from one of those leaders or someone in your personal life, best advice you ever got?
The best advice I ever got related to technology was from the then CIO of Gallagher, Nick Ellsberg. And he cryptically told me one day that silicon is easy, carbon is hard. And I had to mull on that. What he meant by that was it's not the technology, Chip, that makes our jobs hard. It's getting the human beings, the carbon part of the equation, to adapt to it.
That's a good one. All right. So diving onto the personal side, favorite movie?
Ocean's 11. Not even close.
That was easy.
Anything with a heist. A heist, a plot. I love a plot. I love interesting scenes. There's quite a bit of alcohol in that movie and money, glamour. What's not to like?
It's very true. It's very true. Favorite movie genre or music genre?
So it varies depending on what I'm doing. So, there's nothing like listening to the music of your youth, right? So sort of 80s and 90s alternative rock is probably where I am most often. But as I get older, I do notice I like a lot of country music. So I'm there too.
All right. The last event that you had to purchase a ticket for and attended?
There's been a bunch, but the most recent one was Boston College against Louisville, college football game. My son is a freshman at Boston College, and my wife and I were up to see him, and BC won by 1 point in the fourth quarter. It was great.
Nice. I'm sitting in Massachusetts right now myself, so that sounds great. So first car you ever drove?
1971 Ford Maverick. Straight six, 200, 3 on the tree.
I love those cars, by the way.
Me too.
They're so cool.
That was a great car.
Cool.
That didn't get enough credit in the world. It was black on black, black interior, black exterior. I think it was a custom paint or something. You never saw another one like it.
You don't see a ton of them out there now still. And, but they're not that expensive to buy.
No, they're not.
Pretty cheap because people haven't really found them and done them up yet. But they can be so cool. I've seen them like resto modded out, and they're so badass.
You could put a V8 in there, no problem. Yeah, they're fun. I also
you can tell why I put the car. No, the car questions, right, are because Reed is such into cars, and so I knew that was going to get.
So I've also owned a '64 Cadillac convertible, '66 Mustang, a '68 Torino convertible.
Yeah.
I've had some good cars.
That's awesome. What's the last concert you went to, Chip?
That's a good question. So a lot of times people ask me, what's the first concert? I'm embarrassed about that. It's Peaches and Herb at Hershey Park in 1984 or something like that, 1983 maybe. The last concert I went to was the Ep Brothers in Milwaukee. It was pretty good, maybe right before COVID, not too long before COVID.
So last question, I don't know if it's difficult saying it while you're sitting across from him, but why did you agree to do the podcast with Reed?
Wow. Well, he's a good friend, and he's an amazing thought leader in the InsurTech space, and he's probably the person I would say yes to first of anyone in the world.
Thanks, Chip. Appreciate that. Same to you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that kind of tees us up for the main interview, and we look forward to the extended discussion between you and Reed on InsurTech.
Thanks, Christen.